Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I am going to talk about the Kawasaki Z1000SX that I am riding, that I have owned for just over 3 years, since March 2020. I bought it second-hand with under 2,000 miles done, and it's now at 18,400 and something miles. So 3 years, over 15,000 miles of ownership. Here are my thoughts on it. So if you want to see that, stick around and watch the rest of the video, and I'll catch you after this. So the Kawasaki Z1000SX, I love this bike. For me, it's one of the most underrated bikes out there. It's just a brilliant bike that doesn't get a lot of press because it's been going for a little while. It only has a few adjustments, modifications, updates, every couple of years. But it's not really a sexy, snazzy, all singing, all dancing bike. It's just a solid, all-round bike. It's a sports tourer, which means it's got like a slightly sporty riding position with the clip-ons. The clip-ons are high, so the riding position, as you can see, I'm not hunched over my wrists. My back is fairly upright, and I'm only an average to below average height rider. I'm 170 centimeters tall, which is 5'7", I think, in English money. And my inside leg measurement is 76 centimeters, which I think is a 30-inch inseam in old money, as we say. It's comfortable. I haven't got very long arms, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not on my wrists. I'm easily able to just relax my arms, grip the tank with my legs, and ride in a fairly relaxed position, which means I can ride it all day long, mostly. And despite my advanced years, despite being nearly 51, it's super comfortable, and I can ride all day. And it can ride all day because it will do about 180 miles to a full tank. Depending on how you ride it, you can get a good sort of 48, 49 miles per gallon. Much more if you're on the motorways. Sorry, I had some audio noise issues because of the speed here. The bike will happily cruise on the motorway as well, at motorway legal speeds with no issue whatsoever in 6th gear, and give you fantastic mileage. It can also ride very nicely in the country lanes. It has got all the power and torque that you want, and has lots of torque down low, so you can accelerate in 3rd or 4th gear, and overtakes are not an issue. Let's just wait for that car and then we can do an overtake here. Definitely do some very progressive and spirited and exciting riding on it. So although we won't win any of the car park wheelie waving competitions, it is a solid all-rounder. But because it's an all-rounder, of course, it does have a few compromises. The screen isn't exactly the most protective for sports tourers. The position, although as I said, I have no problem riding all day, it is not the most upright, so it can feel a little bit sporty. And as I'm getting on in years, I may be thinking to get something a little bit more sort of sit up and bag, a little bit more upright, a little bit more similar to how I sit on the Himalayan. But not yet, not for a few years. Although I have been looking around at some other bikes, and you may have seen some of the reviews that I've been doing of those. For the moment at least, very happy with this bike and not planning to change. When I first bought it, I did a review a few years ago. I found initially that the seat was a little bit firm, but I did get used to it, and now it is not really a problem. You just kind of have to do your, hello sir, you have to do some position shifting when you're doing your riding. The legs can be a little bit bent as well because of the sort of compromise of a sport tourer. So it's not really a sports bike, it's not really a tourer bike, it's somewhere in the middle. But you can tour on it, and when you get there you can do some sporty stuff, and I like that. Because I'm not Valentino Rossi. I'm not going to get super sporty with a sport bike with low clip-ons. It's not really my thing. I'm way too old for it, and unskilled and a noob. But I also don't want to just sit in an armchair just yet, like an RT. Although those bikes are nice, man. I'm telling you, it's starting to get very tempted. Anyway, I digress. So, the Z1000SX, what's it like to own a doddle? This bike never misses a beat. It's never given me any issues. The servicing is super easy. I do all of the oil change and brake fluid change and maintenance. The chain is easy to adjust. I have changed from the original chain and sprockets a couple of years ago. The service intervals used to be 3,750 miles, but speaking to the people at Kawasaki, apparently that's changed now to only 7,500 miles. So I would have had to have done a service, let's see, 15, 18, 250. But when I talked to them about it, said no, that we've had a bulletin from Kawasaki. Don't need to do one until the next one. So that would be was it 22,500? So yeah, and then I think there is one after that, which is the valve clearance check. So that doesn't come in until about 25,000, which is a bit strange, really. And I didn't discuss that because ideally I'd like to just, if I'm going to take it in for a service, just have everything done, just to the valve check as well at 22.5. So I might just ask for them to do that, or I might just not do the 22.5 and wait until 25. Anyway, I don't know. I'll decide later. To be concluded. That thought. What else can I tell you about this bike? Well, Japanese inline four, super reliable, oodles of torque, oodles of power, decent fuel economy, excellent reliability. Couple of niggles and frustrations that I have with it. It's really difficult to fit the Krieger straps because there really isn't any bit of frame exposed under the seats. And I did buy the bike without panniers, and panniers from Kawasaki are quite expensive, and the ones that I can get elsewhere are really unattractive. I have put in a top box, which sometimes I use, but I'm trying to use it less, just because, I don't know, just for a change. I have now put in this Givy tank bag. It's one of those tank lock bags, so you just drop it in and it kind of clips in, and it's easy, super easy to take away. And so now for sort of day rides I just do that. But yeah, the Krieger is a little bit hard to put in. What else can I say? I would totally recommend this bike to anybody. It's a great all-rounder. I'm finding it hard to find anything else that I would consider changing this for. I was just on the ride now, and there was a chap in a Ninja 1000SX, which is the more up-to-date one. They've renamed the Z1000SX as the Ninja 1000SX. I guess because Ninja sounds a bit more sexy, something like that. And that the updates for that is it has a TFT screen as opposed to the LCD and dials that this one here has. Although I quite like a dial. Actually. I wouldn't change it just for the LCD, to be honest. I like the LCD. I wouldn't change it just for the TFT. What have I done to this bike in terms of modifications? Well, I actually have a video that I put up a couple of years ago with listing all of the modifications that I have done. I'll put a link to it right here so you can have a look at it. I haven't really changed much since then, obviously apart from fitting in the tank bag and also fitting in the TomTom. But the TomTom actually fits into the same ball system that I had put in for the ram foam mount, the X grip. So I haven't really had to change much on it to make it super usable and practical for me. So if you are in the market and considering bikes and you want a sport tourer and you want a good all-rounder, and you're considering a Kawasaki Z1000SX or a Kawasaki Ninja 1000SX, whether it's brand spanking new or used second-hand like this one was when I bought it, I would definitely go for that. I would do that in a heartbeat. You won't be disappointed. It's good value for money. As I said, it's quite overlooked sometimes and underrated for what it is. People seem to pay attention more to the Suzuki copy of it, although I don't think that's even as practical as this is. The screen isn't easily adjustable and it lacks some of the stuff. Probably has a slightly better engine, not that you'd be able to tell the difference or use all that power on everyday road riding. So it was much of a muchness. Yeah, what else can I say? Do it, get one, join the club, you won't regret it. So if you have any questions or you're still on the fence and you own one and you have a question and you want to exchange information or ideas or whatever else, drop me a comment below or reach out to me on one of my social media channels. I don't really go on Twitter very much anymore because I found it too negative and toxic, but Facebook or Instagram, I still tolerate those. So comment below would be fantastic. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It will really help me to keep creating content. But yeah, for now, these are my thoughts after 3 years of owning this bike, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. For now, it's Noob out.